Okay, so today we're going to learn about inscribed angles. Inscribed angles is an angle whose vertex is on the circle and whose sides contain chords of our circle. Okay, so here's a picture. This is your inscribed angle. This is your inscribed arc. Okay, inscribed arc is the arc that lies in the interior of an inscribed angle and has endpoints on the angle. All right, these are your three different cases that you can possibly see. It can go through the center, it can open where it's inside, the center is inside of it, or the center could not be a part of it at all. Okay, there's a theorem to calculate for inscribed angles. If an angle is inscribed in a circle, then the measure of the angle equals 1/2 the measure of its inscribed arc. All right, so if I want to find the measure of angle 1, it is half of AB's arc. Now you can do that backwards if you have angle 1. Okay, angle 1, you double it, and that would get you AB's arc. All right, let's look at example 1 together. It says find the indicated measure of circle P. We are looking for the measure of angle T. Okay, the T is right here. Angle T is right here. Okay, so we have to find, that's an inscribed angle, you have to find the arc that goes with it. The arc that goes with it is this 48. So the formula is angle T equals half of 48. Half of 48 is 24 degrees. So in here is a 24 degrees. Okay. B, it wants me to find the arc of Q to R. Okay, Q to R does not have an inscribed angle related to it at all. Okay, so this kind of gets a tad confusing. You're going to have to look at it at a different way. Okay, if I look at other parts of this, okay, so if I look at here, I know that if this is 50, how do I figure out what Q to T is? Okay, the arc is double the inscribed angle. So Q to T equals 2 times 50. So Q to T equals 100. Okay, something else that you have to look at here is that T to R is what? It's a semicircle. Okay, it's your diameter. So that means how many degrees is it from T all the way to R? 180 is correct. Okay, so now make sure that you know that you already used 100 here. How many are left for Q to R? 180 minus 100 is going to get me Q to R is 80 degrees. Okay, let's look at what's next. All right, example 2. All right, it says find the measure of R to S and the measure of STR. Okay, so the measure of R to S, okay, just following what we learned in our last example, find the inscribed angle. The inscribed angle is right here, it's 31. And what do we do to that 31? Measure of R to S, you double 31. Okay, R to S would be 62 degrees. Now, that's here. What is the measure of STR? STR. Now, measure of angle STR, you have to find the arc to get your inscribed angle. Okay, my arc is 62. We now need to do what to get the angle? The measure of angle STR is half of 62, which is 31. Last part of this question, and it says, what do you notice about angle STR and angle RUS? STR and RUS. They are congruent to each other. Okay, right here's a formula to explain that. It says if two inscribed angles are circles intercept the same arc or congruent arcs, then the angles are congruent to each other. Okay, so since they intersect at the same arc, the angles are going to be congruent. All right, in example 3, I want you guys to name 2 pairs of congruent angles in the figure. Okay, I actually named 4 different answers that you could have written this. So make sure you double check the notes to make sure yours match up. I also want you guys to look at this extra practice part, and I would like you to complete the extra practice. Okay. Inscribed polygons. Okay, so this is our polygons that are now inside of our circles. So it says if all of the vertices lie on the circle. Circumscribed circle is a circle that contains the vertices of an inscribed polygon. So the red is your circumscribed circles. The blue is your inscribed polygon. All right, so an inscribed angle of a triangle intercepts a diameter or a semicircle if and only if the angle is a right angle. Okay, the reason it has to be a right angle, I'm not sure if you remember this, but if this is an inscribed angle, the arc would have to be double it. Well, since this is half of a circle, this is 180 degrees. Okay, half of it, that has to be 90. Or 90 to double it, that has to be 180. So if it's going through the center of your circle, that angle measure has to be 90 degrees. All right. So it says if a quadrilateral is inscribed in a circle, then its opposite angles are supplementary. Okay, so remember what supplementary is. Supplementary means that it adds up to 180 degrees. And it says that it's your opposite angles. So opposite, opposites. All right, let's try an example on that. All right, so it says find the value of each variable. All right, so remember, when you have an inscribed polygon, the opposite angles are supplementary. So this plus this has to equal 180. Okay, so it's 75 plus your y has to equal 180. So y will equal 105. Okay, set up your other one. This plus this has to equal 180. So it's x plus 80 has to equal 180. Well, x would have to equal 100. And that's it. You guys are going to have to complete the next 3 examples as well. Please reach out to me if you have any questions and you don't understand any of these topics. I know there's a lot of formulas that we just learned today. Please make sure we know them and reach out if you need help. Have a good day.